Guys, so this is just following on from our like growing a software as a service MVP. Um, so I'm just going to break it down into like how we can get our first like 100 users. So this is a competitor. It's another tool. They have about 8,000 users. How many of those are paying customers? I'm not quite sure. But a great way for us to like get our initial users is to pull customers directly from them. So this should be like quite easy to do. So like I used to be a member of a lot of these a lot of these pods, but then I ended up leaving them all. But we can go ahead and like the pods full. Okay, so another way to do this then, this is a post of someone that I know uses that tool and they've promoted. So pretty much everyone liking here, I recognize a lot of these faces. They're coming from Lempod, so it means that they're Lempod users. They're part of that network. So we can just come up with like a very easy Phantom Buster sequence, I guess. And so we'll go into store bikers. So we'll go ahead and extract the all of the post likers, and then I'll just go and add them and connect with all of them. Um, so I'm just going to copy the post URL. This is just like a really quick way for us to get started, and it means that I'll be able to message like 300 people, inviting them to our app. It's going to be like really targeted, and it's just a nice little automated way to get started. So we can just save that. There are some other like competitors as well. There was one called like Alcopod, but it's like invite only. Um, Maybe one quite smart growth hack actually I've just thought of would be to mm, um, just whilst that's loading, I'll just go through like another idea I've just had. So often what you find is people who have like online names, like online titles, they'll have the same title like elsewhere. So I mean, this has full names. Can we do a reverse image store? No. Um, okay, so actually, even just extracting all of these names and trying to turn them into um, LinkedIn profiles would actually be a pretty good idea. How many review? Uh, hmm. Dimitri is going to be too big of a name, but like Sebastian here, for example, we can try and find him on LinkedIn. Although that doesn't. I don't think that's the same person. Okay, maybe it's not the best idea. Um, but like another idea that I had is just in general, like anyone with the job title growth hacker is they're usually like early adopters and they're just quite happy to try out new tools and new things. Like luckily I have like a few thousand first level connections with like job title growth hacker. So going through and like messaging them and asking if they would like to try out our tool. There's 2,000 people that I can immediately message like to try out our like LinkedIn growth hacking tool. So that will be the next thing that I go on to. This is now finished. So in total, it's got 372 likes. I'm just going to take the JSON. I prefer to work with JSON. And we'll put together like a quick integromat sequence. I'm just going to get my laptop charger. So yeah, we'll take the JSON sequence, and we could actually do this directly from Phantom Buster. Actually, yeah, maybe it isn't worth making an integromat for this. Okay, yeah, we'll do it directly from Phantom Buster, I guess. Why not? Okay. Phantom Buster generally prefer to work from CSV, as I remember. I'll I've removed that. Okay. Inspect. It's been a while since I've actually done this. mm, I'm just going through my. Yeah, I think that's quite a good message actually. So one big problem that I find with like Lempod, that other tool, is the tool works really well. It's a great tool, and in general, I really like it. However, the groups are limited to like 50 or like 70 people, I think. And so a big problem there is that you're just you're just constantly getting likes from the same people again and again, which isn't really that great. Like you're just like recycling the same likes over and over. And I actually do believe, I haven't actually got evidence to support this. It's just from my personal experience. But I believe that LinkedIn actually just catches on to the fact that you're just getting likes from the same people. And I noticed that like the engagement boost that I initially saw really like dropped quite significantly. So just something to be like aware of, like when you are using tools like these, I think it's much better to have like a huge audience that is really varied. Yeah, I think I also ran out of sending invitations quite recently. It was a mistake. Okay. The other thing is, I think I'll be connected to quite a lot of these people. I just want to see how many of these connections were successful. And after that, we'll just leave it to run. I just need to make sure everything's going through properly. It's a bit annoying. They actually used to show it in real time, everything that's happening, and now they've removed that. I don't know why. That was quite a good feature. Okay, so a lot of these profiles are already in my network. In fact, if you saw pretty much all of them. So I'll run through and I'll connect with all of them. But in fact, let's just spin up a really quick integromat sequence for this. Um, why not? So we'll just go and make a new table. We'll call it lempod. So what we'll actually do is we'll pull the original data from the CSV file that I got from from the JSON file that I got from Phantom Buster, and we'll add all those users into lempod. Okay. So information we got was personal LinkedIn, and we've got that information. Okay. Connection degree. I think that information's fine. Okay, and then what we do here is we add another module called iterator. Put in this. Okay. So here, just put name, personal, LinkedIn is what we will call profile link, and connection degree is all we want. And then if we just run that module, it's going to add all of them in here, which is great. I don't need to be in there. Frank can be removed as well. This guy is already he's the founder of Lempod, so we don't really want him in there. He can be deleted. These are just people that I recognize myself. Okay, so we've got our first connections there. We've got second connections. Okay, that's pretty good. So then the sort of structure that we'll have is we'll add another view. That one will be connect, and we'll have another view, and that will be message. So message will have filter where connection degree contains 1, and connect can be filter, add filter where connection degree does not contain 1. So obviously what we're doing there is just filtering out if they're not a first level connection, we know that we need to send them a connection request, and if they are a first level connection, we can just go and send them a message. And here we can have like message sent, maybe connection sent. So we'll just give that a minute to process and bring everyone across. So we've got like 300 leads here that they should be pretty good. They're all very targeted. They're all using one of our competitors. So yeah, we'll see how this initial outreach goes. Okay, while that's finishing off, yeah, that's why my flows aren't running. Okay, so right, that we don't care about. It'd be really nice if there was a this highlight to delete feature. Like if you could just highlight a lot of modules. So this is like an old flow that I had. I'm just going to build on top of it because it'll be much quicker than building everything again from scratch. So I'll delete this. Delete this. I'm just going to send one JSON. Okay. Delete that. Delete that. Delete. I guess we can actually work off the same view for everything. I'll also delete them. Okay. So it's a little bit messy. So first one what we'll do is watch records. In fact, we can build all of the logic off of one view. There's no need for two views. So we're going to start off from the lempod base. Add a trigger field. Okay. Sure what that is doing there. So there's going to be two different rows here. One of them is going to be, this is going to send a connection request, and you don't really need all this stuff. We're just going to send a connection request. Then after, we will update that record in Airtable with the result of the event. That can be deleted, gone. Also gone. Okay. So it's quite a simple flow, and fuck. Uh, it's deleted the wrong thing by mistake. Make a request URL. Okay, that's not done. So the reason that we so the reason that I put like JSON here is because your Phantom Buster requests have to be sent in like JSON format. And to go and get that every single time is just like, it's just a real pain. It's much easier to like, you can go and manually make it within Phantom Buster. You can create a message there and then transform it to JSON, but instead I just add it as a module within Integromat, because it just makes it much easier. This is really bad copy. I don't know why, but whenever I'm recording a video, I've always come out with really bad copy. So that should be that JSON string cookie. We'll just send from my account. So we'll pull cookie in manually. Cookie. We'll paste that in personal LinkedIn. Okay. Hmm. Okay, so now obviously, like whenever you're writing out, the reason we have to sync back to Airtable is so that we know if a record has been processed or not. Otherwise, it's just going to keep getting um, processed again and again. So we just want to send it back to Airtable. If a message is correctly sent, then we want to update that field. So I'm just going to add that in now. Okay, and I'm just going to add in another module to look up um, to just get a phantom buster key for me. So, um, but like if you're not recording videos, then you can just copy and paste it across. Just I now have to be like a little bit wary about people seeing like personal information that could be dangerous to be. It just means that people would have access to everything that I'm doing, so I just have to be a little bit careful about recording, and it's annoying like stopping and starting recording, so I can just hide it this way, but it's not actually necessary to do it. Um, Phantom Buster message sender. Okay, that is now done. So I'm just going to just tidy up the sequence a little bit, and I'm just going to work on like the copy a little bit more. I'll do that in front of you so you can see everything that happens there. And then I'll run through the whole sequence because I do get a lot of questions about how like logic and stuff works. Um, so the first thing that we're doing is we're pulling from Airtable. I'm then doing like this is just the API request of Airtable. Um, and we need it to return us an array. So I can just run it once now. And because the iterator needs to work with an array, that's why we set it up in that way. Error table not found. Ah, okay. Okay, working. Good stuff. What? Okay. Oh, we can just rename this to outreach. It's because we're using our old structure. There's not a lot of intricate details I forget to change. No. God. Okay, now it's working. So then within the iterator, we want to add in past response. Sorry. Run again. And it should return us 10 records. Yeah, because that's how many I said that I want to work with at a time. So then what we do is you put this data into iterator, and that will then like turn it into like individual records essentially. Send connection request, come down here, personal LinkedIn, that's good. And then what we want is condition connection degree does not contain 1. And then we want connection degree contains 1. So if the connection is not first level, then it will be sent down this route and it will go and try and send a connection request. And that serves two purposes for us. Even if we have already sent a connection request to them, it's going to manually check if it's been accepted. We could put like an automated email passing system, but I think it's not really necessary for this. Step 2 is once we realize that person is a first level connection, we're going to go and send them a message, and then after that we will update in Airtable. We will update in Airtable. Need to give them the ID, and we'll say message sent true. And here we will put in ID, message sent, connection sent, maybe status code. And now I just want to work on these messages. Hi, first name. A little bit too wordy, but better message than before. Um, okay, that's okay. It's not the best copy ever, but it's definitely good enough for us to get started. There's not a module in 129. Is that somewhere here we've got an issue? Down here, data output, okay. Okay. So I knew that there's an error because it was finishing so quickly. So it's just telling us there's something not right. Have I got a good view on there? So there should be like a 30-second. That's why, okay. Let's give that a try. Yeah, now it's working. So this is now going and sending connection requests to everyone. We had a 404, so we can delete that. I'm just trying to think. The only problem I'm actually going to have now is that I'm going to have to go back to these messages manually. It would also be really helpful if our plugin was actually approved within the Chrome Web Store, because then I can just push people directly over, and then we can also like start collecting reviews, and it's going to help us with ranking higher. So really, I am just sort of waiting for that to come through because it will be really useful for us. Okay. So I'm going to leave that running now. I will actually move on to start recording like another outreach sequence that can be used. Okay. I just need to have a little think about the best way to do it. But yeah, that's now running. Like once this stops running, I'm just going to turn it on to go automatically, and it will process all these records and hopefully get some users on board for us. So yeah, I hope that made sense, particularly for people who ask me about like the logic and things like that. I've tried to go into a bit more information in this video, and as always, if there's any like questions, anything that you're not clear on, just feel free to leave a comment, and I'll be more than happy to help. Other than that, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Take care and have a great day.